So a lot of people get frustrated with trying to grow their chest, and there's a really unique way to hit it when doing a high frequency upper lower split like I'm currently doing. This is something that really hasn't been talked about much in the past because upper lower is so new, at least relatively, in terms of its popularity. So what I'm going to be showing you is how to hit your chest in a high frequency, low volume upper lower split. And interestingly, we are not going to be doing flies, which is something that so many people go like, what? How is that even possible? We'll get into it. But the main theory here is hitting the chest for 1 to 3 sets per session every 48 to 72 hours. That is a pretty high frequency, but not a whole lot of sets each time. And by doing it like that, you're able to constantly stimulate the chest, giving it a new growth stimulus while limiting the amount of muscle damage you're getting and inroad in your recovery. So what we're starting with, at least in this lift here for this upper day, is going to be some upper chest press. So you'll notice I'm set up here on the Smith machine. Going to just get comfy in position. I normally like to have the seat at around 30 to 45 degrees, give or take. And it has been a while since I've ran this, but just feeling it out, trying to get as comfy as possible. And we're gonna mess with the seat here and there, kind of experiment with our hand position. But ideally, you wanna keep everything nice and comfy, down, explode up. Same thing, nice and comfy, and explode up. Fantastic, and you'll see how it fits in context with the rest of the lift. All right, so we're going to do 2 plates, or just shy of 2 plates here. 1 plate and 40 pounds on each side. Because I haven't ran this exercise in like a year plus, I want to just kind of get reacclimated to it and not trigger a whole bunch of random new soreness and muscle damage, which happens from a novel stimulus. So we're gonna take our time here. We're gonna do 1 set today, and that's gonna be the theme, is doing 1 set of upper chest at the beginning of all these upper days. But again, because I haven't ran this exercise in such a long time, we're not gonna be at peak force capacity just yet, but it's okay because we are getting there. So we're gonna do our 1 working set, ideally in the 5 to 9 rep range, and ideally keep 1 or 2 reps in the tank to prevent some of that novel soreness. So here we go. We're gonna rest up. Okay. All right, here we go. Try to limit my arching as much as I can. I want something to kind of push on. Oh, I want to push here? I could. Probably not a good idea. Nah, we'll just keep our feet planted. Here we go. Here we go. Upper chest. Beautiful, beautiful upper chest work here. Here we go. All right. All right, that was about 4 reps. Realistically, I probably had 5, maybe 6. Could have went a little wider on the hand grip, so it takes some time before we get reacclimated, but that's our first lift, just 1 set of an incline chest movement. All right, so the second and only other chest lift we're gonna be doing today is a flat / slightly declined press. It can be flat or slightly declined. I've had a lot of questions about this, but essentially the difference really lies in what division of the chest you are biasing. So with an incline chest press, you are getting some flat stimulus, but there is going to be a little bit of a bias on the upper chest. Now, when doing a flat or slightly declined press like this, you're going to be activating a lot more of the middle and lower pec fibers, the sternal and costal regions. And the reason why this is important is because if you want the biggest chest possible, the biggest chest you could create, you're going to want to get the bulk of it, and the bulk of it actually sits in the mid to lower chest, not the upper chest. The upper chest is the most aesthetic, in my opinion, the most important in terms of having that upper shelf and letting it connect to your neck and having that really dominant upper shelf kind of look. But for the remainder of your chest, it's very nice to have development in the middle and lower divisions of the pec as well. So what we're gonna be looking for here with this kind of a press is obviously a good machine. This one from Nautilus here is very nice because we have peak tension in the mid to lengthen range. So I personally wish this machine was just slightly less difficult at the bottom, because you'll notice if I come all the way back here, put the pin on 3. If I come all the way back here, you'll notice it's really hard here where I'm starting. And then as we get closer to lockout, it gets easier, but it just drops off a little too much. I almost wish there was more tension in the middle, but feeling it out here, trying to get a nice arc across our body. And this is going to sort of be our final chest movement for the day, surprisingly. And here we go. Okay, that feels really nice, really nice. We'll go a little wider. And it's just good, man. It's just a great movement. And like I said, I haven't ran this movement either in a while. I was using a different machine. So we're gonna take it a little easy today. We don't wanna be crazy sore, generate a whole ton of muscle damage, but we wanna take it a little easier and get that mid and lower chest really firing. All right, so we've got 2 plates and a 25 on this machine here. Again, I probably can go heavier. I probably can get pretty close to 3 plates, but once again, because I haven't used this in a while, we want to prevent that novel stimuli, that really, really strong amount of muscle damage, which is going to be a pain in the ass to recover from before our next chest day, which is coming up ideally in like 48 to 72 hours. So feeling good, feeling comfy, want to keep some natural scapular protraction and retraction here. So everything here feels really nice, feeling good, nice and stable. And what we're going to do is we're getting ready to push. So keep it here. Stay pushing back into the pad. We should be all good. All right. Okay. All right. Wow. That felt a lot easier than the last time I did this. I probably did this like a year ago with this weight, and that was like my all-out working set failure, you know, just barely getting it up. And this time we were owning the full range of motion, so that whole thing felt really nice. And again, we'll creep this up to 3 plates here very, very soon. So a lot of people are gonna lose it when they realize that those are the only 2 sets of chest I'm doing this entire lift. And the way that I justify that and the way that I kind of explain it to people, especially some of my clients who've hopped on my upper lower program, is the basic idea is that we are trying to stimulate the chest, ensure that the chest fibers are experiencing mechanical tension, which really can be qualified as pulling forces. So pulling forces, in order to actually make the muscle contractions happen, all muscles experience pulling forces. And when we are reaching close to failure, that is when those pulling forces and the high threshold motor units that we were trying to tap into in our central nervous system that are responsible for producing the movement, that is when those motor units are going to be most active, and that's the most important thing. So activating as many high threshold motor units as possible, pushing close to failure. Okay, we know that. Now, the reason why you might not want to do, say, 8 sets of chest on Monday is because you won't be able to hit chest again and progressively overload on those movements for a longer period of time. So that was kind of the main flaw of the bro split, is that a lot of people were doing this bro split and it was like, wait a minute, I'm only hitting a muscle group once per week. The frequency is not there. So the intensity might be there and the total volume might be there, but the frequency is not there. So with an upper lower program, the main goal is to be hitting the chest as frequently as we possibly can. So I personally would never do anything under 48 hours. So if you hit something on Monday, you don't touch it on Tuesday, you wait until Wednesday at least to hit it again. So with what we did today with this upper day, right now I'm doing some triceps, I'm gonna do some back and a few other things, you know, some biceps and triceps. Just hit my whole upper body today. As you guys saw by those first 2 sets of chest, that's all I'm doing. Could I throw in a 3rd set of pec deck? Maybe that's a hard one. If I did a 3rd set of like a fly or something, would I be recovered for Wednesday or for Thursday? Maybe. You could argue that would work. But anything beyond that really starts to get into a territory where you're just not recovering. You're not recovering for your next session. So that's why doing 1, 2, maybe 3 sets of chest per upper day is like the perfect thing to do. Stick in the lower rep range, even keep 1 or 2 reps in the tank sometimes so that you're able to come back for your next day and hit it once again. That is how you hit chest in a high frequency split like this. And when you start doing it, you might get addicted to it because the progress is just gonna be so fast compared to every other split you've done because frequency just works. And a lot of people like Jordan Peters have been preaching frequency for a long time. Could there be a study that comes out in the future against it? It's possible. I don't deny it. I don't build my brand or my business around one study or one belief system, but based on what we have available to us now and based on some anecdotal experience as well with myself and others, frequency really does win. And that's why the split is so cool.